Hey, welcome back to the channel. We've actually got a new project that we're working on. We bought a condo, and this is actually called How to Make Money from Your Kids. So we're renting it to our youngest daughter so that she has a nice place to stay. So one of the things that we were doing, we were out looking for apartments, and wow, we're in a college community, and I'm just embarrassed for some of these places that are out there, how dirty, filthy that they are. And we actually had a property manager take us around, and they were just nasty. So we found a condo that was a really good price. At least we felt it was. We've got good resale value down the road once she moves on, or if we don't want another rental. So what we're doing is we're going to redo each room, knowing that we don't want to put a bunch of money into it, but we want to make it look nice. So this is one of the baths, and it just so happens that this is a second half bath. So there's three toilets, commodes in the area, but there's two half baths and a kind of a Jack and Jill. So this is the laundry room, and there's a garage out here, but we're going to end up just taking everything out. We're going to put some new floors in, and we'll run it through the kitchen. The kitchen's through this door. She's got a couple dogs, and we can't let them out at this particular point. So I'm just going to go ahead and rip out all of this stuff, and we'll get back with you in a little bit. So one of the things that I'm doing, I found that underneath here, I've actually got one of the valves that aren't working. So I've got to find a way to get that taken care of. And then I'm also finding that the main shutoff does not work. And I'm going to get rid of not get rid of the toilet, but we're going to drain it. And this is actually a really cool tool. It is actually an automotive tool, but what you can do is you can actually remove any kind of liquid. Just pop this up and get a little suction to it, and then open this valve, and it'll just start sucking out the water and fills it up down there. I actually use this to bleed brake lines, but heck, I've used it for a lot of different things. And so I'll get all the water out of here and get all the water out of here. So that'll allow me to then pull this toilet out. And the reason why we're pulling the toilet out is we're putting all new flooring in, but and then also that means that I need to take out all the quarter round, and I'll do that. I also will probably replace all of the molding in here. I'm not going to do the doors, but we'll end up painting those. But I'm not going to even take up the floor, because we'll use some kind of not tile, but it'll be that kind of look-alike tile. Well, I've finished up this area. I need to come back through with a vacuum and shop vac and clean this up. But I think I have it pretty well. You know, I'll actually come back in here and do some sanding and do some hole filler. But then I'll tape everything up and get ready for paint. Anything that needs to be, drywall needs to be taken care of, I'll do that. But otherwise, I think we're pretty well set with this room. And I want to continue in here and we'll get all done. So I'm going to take the ring off and then stuff that because that's gas in there. And we do want to make sure that that is taken care of. Okay, I found something that I think I'm going to have to, I know I'm going to have to take care of, but I've got to find a way to take care of it. So if you can kind of see, these actual areas here have kind of rotted off. And I really can't see at this particular point. I'm going to have to do a little research, but I'm wondering if I can pop these rivets off, because this is concrete. So I'd have to go into the concrete if I needed to lift that up, but I've got to get those tabs back. I'm hoping that this is actually, those are concrete nails that they put in, but I'll do some more research on it. So I feel pretty good. I've got this pretty well cleaned up here. Now it's this. I do have to get up underneath there to try to find a way to shut the water off. I've got the water shut off partially, but I need to completely shut it off so that I can then pull that. So I tried to get the doors off, and those pins are stuck. I need to bring some WD-40 or something in here just to kind of pop those off, because it's going to be easier to get the floor in. Okay, I have that under control right now. I was able just to take some vice grips in there and really kind of just work on it. Now my next big thing is I've got to get this and I've got to get that off, so that pull that out. One of the things I may do is just get, I've got a little saw that I'll just come in here, maybe buzz around it, just take that whole back off. Then I don't have to worry about it, and I can cut a big enough hole. Well, it's actually not going to be a big enough hole because it's going to be a pedestal sinking. So just finished doing all the spackling and taping, and now we're going to get ready to paint. So one thing that I think is extremely important is having a really good paintbrush to go in and cut in all of these areas. I don't tape the ceiling parts, but I do all the rest. And right before I paint, I actually just take and make sure that those are pressed down really well. Any area that I've done some spackling, I'll take and do a quick brush over on those. Okay, the first coat of the trim is on. And what I like to do is I like to come in here and do all of the first base trim, and I feather it out, because when you roll, then you know how the rolling pattern, it kind of is a smooth bubble, and what it does is if you can get right close in these, you don't see any of the brush marks. So probably what I'm going to do is come in and I'll let this dry, I'll get this out here, and then I'll come back in and roll this, and we'll let it dry, and then I'll actually do another coat. I always do 2 coats no matter what it looks like, because there's something you're just going to miss. And I'm actually using some Sherwin-Williams paint, which is kind of like that lid line, and actually it's really nice. It's covering well. Okay, we've got the first coat of trim in, and I'm going to get ready to roll, and that shouldn't take too long. I don't have very much battery left, so what I'm going to do is just show after it's finished. I'll give you a little brief overview. So I have just a little bit more battery life left, and I thought I'd go ahead and just film the rest of this. Finishing up this painting, but I've got everything else done. Okay, that does it. I have actually finished up the first coat. And one of the things that I never have intentions on, whether the paint is extremely good, is never to make sure that, I'm always going to do a second coat. So you can see to start the drying pattern. So some's drying, some's not, but it is covering pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. I'll come back in here and trim out once again, and then roll once again, and that'll be done this afternoon. And it should be, at that particular point, we can take the tape off, and I'll then trim up any other thing that needs to happen. We may have to do some white on these, but I think otherwise, I think we're moving along pretty well. So I just finished up measuring for the floor. We're gonna buy enough material for both the bathroom, laundry, that kind of little hallway, I guess would be the laundry there as well, but then also the kitchen. And the only reason why we're not gonna, that kind of wood plank look, we would actually put it all the way through, but we're not quite sure where we're gonna take the carpet out. So what I wanted to do is, we know that we're going to do the laundry, the bathroom, and the kitchen. And then after we get all of that finished, then we'll do the rest. The reason why I didn't want to do it all in the same kind of that wood plank look is because I'd have to buy all that material now just to make sure. And I didn't want to spend $2,000 at this particular point, plus whatever that would be. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do like a marble tile, but in a plank format, and we'll just have a transition. So I think that'll look good. We're then going to try to figure out whether it needs to be vertical or horizontal to what's going on. But then again, I also still want to think through this, because one of the things that I want to do is definitely make sure that what we're doing from just a time standpoint is, I know that if I kind of put it horizontal, which it's really small, that's that's going to allow me to have a really nice transition point between the laundry room and the kitchen, so it just wouldn't look odd. So it'll be linoleum in the kitchen. But then once we get the kitchen done, which, you know, it could be within the next 4 months or 2 months, or, you know, even less than that. But then I can put the floor down the rest of the way so it won't look odd in that period of time. If I do it the other way, you know, you kind of stagger those so that they're every, I think we're going to do a 2 by 24 inch, or excuse me, a 12 by 24 inch kind of tile. I'd have it jut out into the kitchen, and there's a couple dogs in the condo, and I'm just not quite sure how they would react. And of course, you know, it's another tripping kind of spot, so we'll kind of lay it out and see which one looks the best. Whatever it is, we'll go for it. But I'm just out to go purchase all the flooring right now. Only about 200 square feet, so I think we'll be good. Okay, there we go. We just loaded up a bunch of tile. Now, the way it normally happens in our household is I load all this up. At least it wasn't that bad. I've done this with wood planks, where we get them all home, we put them out, and we go, yeah, we don't like them. And that's after I've unloaded everything. So this wasn't too much. There were 12 boxes, so not too bad. And they weren't that heavy, but that's what we're going to put down. I'm going to go back now and do a little painting. Okay, we've let this dry for, I'm going to say about 3 hours. It is dry to the touch, and we're just going to come back in here and finish trimming things out. I was able to get all of the flooring out. We'll actually put a little bit of that down just to see what it looks like, but I'm gonna go ahead and trim this all out once again. Okay, I've actually finished trimming out, and we're gonna do one more last roll. So if no one's heard of this technique, it's actually a great way to keep everything from, so you don't have to clean it. So what I do is, if I know that I'm going to paint, I'll put some plastic wrap. Normally I'll put it around the roller itself, but I didn't feel like I needed to do it this time because it wasn't going to be gone that long. But then you just put it in the refrigerator. It could stay in there for a couple days. Just get it back out and continue on with your painting.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and turn on those post notifications to receive all the notices of all the upcoming episodes. Thanks for watching.